Welcome back to SwitchCorner. My name is Alex and today we're taking a look at Deiland Pocket Planet Edition on the Nintendo Switch. Now this one's a farming adventure with a twist. You're looking after this tiny planet, but is it worth your time and can it earn a spot next to the greats in the genre? So think like Stardew Valley and then the recent Littlewood. Well, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we will do here. Join our growing family and let's get started. It's a story, and yes, this one very much has a story to it, meaning you can hit end credits. Now here you'll be taking on the role of Arco, a young boy who lives alone on a tiny planet known as Deiland. Now opening the game, you'll meet a woman by the name of Mun. She is an explorer. She takes an interest in your tiny planet and she basically wants to understand its purpose and history. And there begins the adventure as you meet this varied cast of characters, 12 of which that will give you quests, and you need to get to the bottom of your purpose in life and just this world you find yourself on. I honestly enjoyed the story. I wanted to get to the bottom of the mystery, and the cast is a fun one with some decent and unique personalities. The only complaint I do have, the ending, it is abrupt, and I will say, a little bit disappointed with it. So gameplay, and yes, it is a farming adventure, but where most give you this like ever expanding plot of land to unlock or large map to explore, Deiland for the most part contains you to this very small planet which you can basically run around entirely within maybe 30 to 45 seconds. The main concept of the game though, it's really receive quests from a wide cast of characters and then go on some sort of collectathon for the required goods that those characters need. Specifically, these tend to be of the farming variety, whether that's maybe growing crops or growing and chopping down trees. That loop though I found extremely addictive. Get mission, find what I need, keep the story moving forward. So for the most part it's nothing you haven't seen within the genre before, but the unique location and structure does make it feel just a little bit different from most of its peers. The characters though you meet not only act as quest givers, but for the most part they're also going to be trading posts as well, where you can actually buy and sell goods. Some examples here of characters you will meet though: there's a travelling merchant who arrives in this like hot air balloon ship, a pirate, and then a chef as well. These are very much early characters to the story, but they all feel very different in their design and purpose to your story. Just because each character's missions, yes, they are the same idea, a collectathon, each kind of comes with a different variety of rewards, whether that's cooking, ingredients, magic, yes, because there's magic to the story here, or maybe something that's going to let you learn a little bit about yourself. The farming mechanics though, largely what you'll be used to, gather seeds, plant them, wait a few days for them to grow out, harvest and repeat. The game's variety of crops here, it's solid, and it also expands with progression. Each comes though with sort of requirements, shall we say. There's a certain season they must be grown within, and the game actually contains 4 different seasons. We've got summer, spring, winter and autumn. The seasons in this one though, they move quick, with each lasting only 7 days. Alongside this then as well, just kind of wrapping up the farming side of things, you'll also have fishing as well as some animals to tend to. So for Arco then, you'll be managing a few different meters. We've got health, hunger, stamina. Stamina lasts a decent chunk of time here. There's a day and night cycle in game, but no actual time you must complete your chores by, so to speak. And then there's even leveling up. With each level you can actually add attribute points to one of 4 categories, that is strength, intelligence, agility and stamina. Outside of that though, alongside of course the farming, the harvesting, there's a lot of materials in this world. It's not just about farming, but things like the rock. Whole lot of rock, a whole lot of mining to be done. But then you can expect to be doing things like upgrading your home. Starts as a simple tent. You can build new tools once blueprints are acquired, and then you can of course cook up food as well. These are all essential as well. The home allows you to progress quicker. The tools, your work becomes better, and then the food, it keeps that health and hunger meter up, probably the most important out of all of them. That's the main loop though, farm, wait for visitors, they'll float above your world for a short time, you'll hit that X button, you can choose where they land, then you'll have 60 seconds to interact with them, whether that's getting a new quest or simply completing one. Now I will say at this point, sometimes the wait between arrivals, it can be a little excessive. You'll kind of settle into that grinding, but for me this all delivered for the most part what I was looking for from this sort of experience. What I didn't expect though, you know, alongside all the farming, all that good stuff, was two systems. So one's called Meteorite and then another, which is Combat. The Meteorite, that's basically a storm, it happens randomly. All you need to do in these moments, tap X and rotate the planet so the meteorites hit an empty part of your world. It's not difficult, but they are essentially loot drops almost, and you can basically harvest these like different meteorites that hit the planet for some unique pieces. Then the combat, that don't fare so well, by far the weakest part of the gameplay, and it's nothing more than running up to your opponent and mashing the Y button whether you have a tool in your hand or the eventual magical abilities you will gain. It's just dull and undercooked, and I absolutely would not suggest coming here for that aspect of the game. For the most part, I just wanted to skip it when I could. It just feels tacked on, if anything, to add almost some high stakes to the story, whether it's, you know, a boss moment or just creatures that invade your world, and I just really didn't think it worked very well. My only other issue with this one then, honestly, first, just occasionally I had this weird bug where a sentence of text wouldn't be in English, particularly the meteorite strikes. When I actually went to get the loot, it would kind of pop up in a different language. It only happened like a handful of times. The text wasn't kind of key text, just talking about what you were getting. And then towards the end game, it just becomes kind of a real grind. I was sitting on a fair bit of cash basically, and I was just waiting around, grinding, hoping the needed character would swing around to move the story forward. It really would have benefited from some sort of ability to almost fast forward time, just so you could kind of, you know, sit this bit out. Overall though, look, if you like the idea of farming sim with a twist, this could absolutely be for you gameplay wise. It's a solid loop, the farming mechanics are decent, and I actually didn't mind the lack of exploration. In fact, I actually kind of enjoyed not having huge tricks ahead of me and I could just kind of get on with it. Graphically, it's real nice. It's basic, honestly, but I love the small 3D world perspective they've gone for. It's very reminiscent of Mario Galaxy. The navigation, because of it, takes a little while to get used to, but maybe an hour into the gameplay loop and you'll be more than fine, and you'll have a good idea of where pretty much everything is. Character design then as well, also decent. Arco has some nice animations for movement and running, though I do wish the characters you meet had a little bit more variety. They tend to land, appear and just stand in one pose. The world then and the locations, again, great. I love the visual effect of the sky. There can be a few like low detail moments in here, especially textures, but it just works with the overall style of the game. And then finally, the conversation moments. Yes, they are simple text boxes, but each comes with a 2D image of the characters in conversation. I really like these. They gave me Studio Ghibli vibes, which is, I mean, just always a good thing. Audio then, and super simple enough. The odd sound effect that works, but nothing you wouldn't expect. You know, tools, ships, harvesting. It's all decent enough. What I really liked though was the soundtrack. It comes from Paco Mitos and then Rafa Jimenez. Do my best with the pronunciations there, but really, really nice work. It's kind of using classical themes and instrumentation, as well as some more traditional moments and things like tribal as well. It just, for me, it hits all the right marks, so it adds an extra layer of personality to this world that just feels very right, given, you know, the visual style and the story it's telling. So overall, Deiland, as farming adventures go, brings just enough to the table that it feels unique. It's this very cool environment that instantly hooks you, and then you kind of question, but how will such a small plot of land keep me invested now for its like probably 10 to 15 hour or so adventure? And I'm going to tell you now, look, I was surprised I actually didn't miss the exploration element of this kind of gameplay loop. And then the farming mechanics contained, they were more than strong enough that they are as addictive as ever, and actually more frequent thanks to the quick season changes and short days. As I've said though, it does also have its issues, though. The grind towards the end game is real. The language switch for those, you know, a few sentences here and there, strange but not game breaking at all. And then the combat is, well, if I'm being completely honest, just kind of horrible. This though, it comes from Chibiga Studio that I've always wanted to like. The first game I experienced from them was for me at least, the disaster that was Summer in Mara, but now revisiting this one, I can see why people kind of hold them in such high regard for the genre, and I am really impressed. Now, if they could tighten up just the mechanics and the pacing of the latter half of the game, this could be absolutely great, but today still look a respectable good 7 out of 10 from me. Will you be adding this one to the library though, or will you be skipping it and, you know, sticking to a classic like the mighty Stardew Valley? With that though, a shout out then to the patrons of the channel who are just going above and beyond to support SwitchCorner. It helps more than you know, so thank you all so much. If you do want to check that out for yourself, I have linked it in the video description down below. Then hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here. Join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.